2 Chronicles chapter 25. Amaziah was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother was Jehoadan, who was from Jerusalem. He did what the Lord approved, but not with wholehearted devotion. When he had secured control of the kingdom, he executed the servants who had assassinated his father. However, he did not execute their sons. He obeyed the Lord's command, as recorded in the law scroll of Moses. Fathers must not be executed for what their sons do, and sons must not be executed for what their fathers do. A man must be executed only for his own sin. Amaziah assembled the people of Judah and assigned them by families to commanders of units of 1,000 and the commanders of units of 100 for all Judah and Benjamin. He counted those 20 years old and up and discovered there were 300,000 young men of fighting age equipped with spears and shields. He hired 100,000 Israelite warriors for 100 talents of silver. But a prophet visited him and said, "O king, the Israelite troops must not go with you, for the Lord is not with Israel or any of the Ephraimites. Even if you go and fight bravely in battle, God will defeat you before the enemy. God is capable of helping or defeating." Amaziah asked the prophet, "But what should I do about the 100 talents of silver I paid the Israelite troops?" The prophet replied, "The Lord is capable of giving you more than that." So Amaziah dismissed the troops that had come to him from Ephraim and sent them home. They were very angry at Judah and returned home incensed. Amaziah boldly led his army to the Valley of Salt, where he defeated 10,000 Edomites. The men of Judah captured 10,000 men alive. They took them to the top of the cliff and threw them over. All the captives fell to their death. Now the troops Amaziah had dismissed and had not allowed to fight in the battle raided the cities of Judah from Samaria to Beth-horon. They killed 3,000 people and carried off a large amount of plunder. When Amaziah returned from defeating the Edomites, he brought back the gods of the people of Seir and made them his personal gods. He bowed down before them and offered them sacrifices. The Lord was angry at Amaziah and sent a prophet to him who said, "Why are you following these gods that could not deliver their own people from your power?" While he was speaking, Amaziah said to him, "Did we appoint you to be a loyal counselor? Stop prophesying, or else you will be killed." So the prophet stopped, but added, "I know that the Lord has decided to destroy you, because you have done this thing and refused to listen to my advice." After King Amaziah of Judah consulted with his advisors, he sent this message to the king of Israel, Joash, son of Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu. "Come, face me at the battlefield." King Joash of Israel sent this message back to King Amaziah of Judah. A thorn bush in Lebanon sent this message to a cedar in Lebanon, "Give your daughter to my son as a wife." Then a wild animal of Lebanon came by and trampled down the thorn bush. "You defeated Edom, and it has gone to your head. Gloat over your success, but stay in your palace. Why bring calamity on yourself? Why bring down yourself and Judah along with you?" But Amaziah did not heed the warning, for God wanted to hand them over to Joash because they followed the gods of Edom. So King Joash of Israel attacked. He and the king Amaziah of Judah faced each other on the battlefield in Beth-shemesh of Judah. Judah was defeated by Israel, and each man ran back home. King Joash of Israel captured King Amaziah of Judah, son of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, in Beth-shemesh, and brought him to Jerusalem. He broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, a distance of about 600 feet. He took away all the gold and silver, all the items found in God's temple that were in the care of Obed-edom, the riches in the royal palace, and some hostages. Then he went back to Samaria. King Amaziah, son of Joash of Judah, lived for 15 years after the death of King Joash, son of Jehoahaz of Israel. The rest of the events of Amaziah's reign, from start to finish, are recorded in the scroll of the kings of Judah and Israel. From the time Amaziah turned from following the Lord, conspirators plotted against him in Jerusalem. So he fled to Lachish, but they sent assassins after him, and they killed him there. His body was carried back by horses, and he was buried in Jerusalem with his ancestors in the city of David. Chapter 26. All the people of Judah took Uzziah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in his father Amaziah's place. Uzziah built up Elat and restored it to Judah after King Amaziah had passed away. Uzziah was 16 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jechaliah, who was from Jerusalem. He did what the Lord approved, just as his father Amaziah had done. He followed God during the lifetime of Zechariah, who taught him how to honor God. As long as he followed the Lord, God caused him to succeed. Uzziah attacked the Philistines and broke down the walls of Gath, Jabneh, and Ashdod. He built cities in the region of Ashdod and throughout Philistine territory. God helped him in his campaigns against the Philistines, the Arabs living in Garabel, and the Meunites. The Ammonites paid tribute to Uzziah, and his fame reached the border of Egypt, for he grew in power. Uzziah built a fort and fortified towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate, valley gate, and at the angle. He built towers in the desert and dug many cisterns, for he owned many herds in the lowlands and on the plain. He had workers in the fields and vineyards, in the hills and in camels, for he loved agriculture. Uzziah had an army of skilled warriors trained for battle. They were organized by divisions according to the master roles made by Jael the scribe and Maaseiah the officer under the authority of Hananiah, a royal official. The total number of family leaders who led warriors was 2,600. They commanded an army of 307,500 skilled and able warriors who were ready to defend the king against his enemies. Uzziah supplied shields, spears, helmets, breastplates, bows, and sling stones for the entire army. In Jerusalem, he made war machines, carefully designed to shoot arrows and large stones from the towers and corners of the walls. He became very famous, for he received tremendous support and became powerful. But once he became powerful, his pride destroyed him. He disobeyed the Lord his God. He entered the Lord's temple to offer incense on the incense altar. Azariah the priest and 80 other brave priests of the Lord followed him in. They confronted King Uzziah and said to him, "It is not proper for you, Uzziah, to offer incense to the Lord. That is the responsibility of the priests, the descendants of Aaron, who are consecrated to offer incense. Leave the sanctuary, for you have disobeyed, and the Lord God will not honor you." Uzziah, who had an incense censer in his hand, became angry. While he was ranting and raving at the priests, a skin disease appeared on his forehead, right there in front of the priests in the Lord's temple, near the incense altar. When Azariah the high priest and the other priests looked at him, there was a skin disease on his forehead. They hurried him out of there. Even the king himself wanted to leave quickly because the Lord had afflicted him. King Uzziah suffered from a skin disease until the day he died. He lived in separate quarters, afflicted by a skin disease, and burned from the Lord's temple. His son Jotham was in charge of the palace and ruled over the people of the land. The rest of the events of Uzziah's reign, from start to finish, were recorded by the prophet Isaiah, son of Amoz. Uzziah passed away and was buried near his ancestors in the cemetery belonging to the kings. This was because he had a skin disease. His son Jotham replaced him as king. We're going to stop here today. Next time we're going to be starting from 2 Chronicles chapter 27. I'll see you then.